Hey, good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing today? How are you guys doing today? Hey, this is Gregory Wiles coming live to you from Houston, Texas with this inspirational morning walk. For first time listeners, I usually get some exercise in the mornings and I share my thoughts with you guys, whatever I'm inspired to talk about that day. But as you can see today, I'm indoors, man. It's a little cold out there. We're down in the 30s with some rain, so it's making things a little worse. I know for the people up north, you're saying, hey, 30s is normal, babe. But we live in Houston, Texas here, which sunshine is the order of the day. So it's a little cold out there for me today. So, but I'll stay inside. No excuse not to do what God asked me to do. So I can stay inside here and I'm going to get the word out. But yes, guys, first time listeners, you have on YouTube, there's a channel on there. Did a lot of these little talks in the mornings, coming up to 2 years now since I'm doing them. So there's a lot of things on there. You can find something that can be able to bless you. Go on there. If you go on YouTube, you type in Gregory Wiles. That's my name, Wyles. The channel should pop up and you'll see a lot of stuff there. You can just hit the subscribe button that's in red, and once the color change, your subscription went through, you can help the channel there. But what I want to talk about today, I want to talk about aging or growing older, us getting older. I want to address that topic. We can look at some fun quotes and then look and see what the Bible say about that. But what prompted this? I was reading, and remember, about sometime last month we talked about suicide. That was inspired by this young lady, Cheslie Kryst, the Miss USA in 2019, who committed suicide, right? We talk about that. Then I'd find an interesting article she had wrote, essay for Allure that she had wrote, and I decided, let me just talk about this topic because some other people might be going through this, right? Might be going through the same thing. This essay she talked about turning 30, about turning 30 was a big thing for her, was a huge thing for her. So let's read it and then we'll discuss about, what the Bible says about getting older and everything. So here was her concerns. In this essay, it's entitled, you could go and find it and read the whole thing if you like. It's entitled, A Pageant Queen Reflects on Turning 30. A Pageant Queen Reflects on Turning 30 is an essay she wrote for Allure, the company Allure. I think they got magazines and stuff like that. So here, this is a portion of the article I'm going to read. This is how the article starts out here, right? Each time I say I'm turning 30, I cringe a little. Sometimes I can successfully mask the uncomfortable response with excitement. Other times my enthusiasm feels hollow, like bad acting. So she said every time she thinks about turning 30, she just cringed, like 30 was, 30 is that sentence kind of thing. So let's go on and see what she says. So sometimes she can mask it with excitement, excited about something and she forget about that. But next times, it just feel like she's acting. Society has never been kind to those growing old, especially women. Occasional exceptions are made for some of the rich and a few of the famous. When I was crowned Miss USA 2019 at age 28 years old, I was the oldest woman in history to win the title. A designation even the sparkling 200,000 pearl and diamond crown could barely brighten for some die-hard pageant fans who immediately began to petition for the age limit to be lowered, right, guys? So she won this title at age 28. I didn't even know that. And she was one of the oldest. So people definitely start a petition for the age limit to be lower, saying, 28-year-olds are supposed to be in the pageant. And I don't know if this is where it started, but this is where it helped make her feel conscious about her age. This kind of add to, I guess, some already insecurities about her age and aging, right? So see, the enemy looks for any opening to start working on you. If you have a little crack, big brother, Littleton Wilds, how are you doing? Good morning. Good morning. Hope all is well with you. Yes, so see, the enemy look for any little crack to come in there, right? And once you give him that opening, he is going to pounce on you, right? So let's go on and see what she said in this article. You say, a grinning, crinkled eye glance at my achievement thus far makes me giddy about laying the groundwork for more. But turning 30 feels like a cold reminder that I'm running out of time to matter in society's eyes. And it is infuriating. So you see again, Michael McKinnon, good morning. How are you doing? How are you doing, sir? Yes, so you see again, this turning 30 was a big deal. It was like a death sentence for her. Let me read that again. A grinning, crinkled eye glance at my achievements, because she achieved a lot within that 28, 29 years. My achievement thus far makes me giddy about laying the groundwork for more, but turning 30 feels like a cold reminder that I'm running out of time to matter in society's eyes. Tessa Hunt, good morning, cuz, good morning. So I don't know where this 30, whoever laid this groundwork for her, that 30 is this age, is a death sentence, your life is kind of over, society don't care about you anymore. And so she said it's, and this is infuriating, right? When you look up the word infuriate, Sean Beckles, good morning. So when you look up the word infuriate, it means making one extremely angry and impatient, very annoying. So she's saying turning 30 was making her angry, right? Because of how she put it, it's you're running out of time to matter in society's eyes. So some way, some along the line, the enemy planted that turning 30 for her was this death sentence. You don't matter no more to people. You're old. You're useless no more turning 30. That's what the enemy is working. This is when I read in this article, guys who just joined, we talking about this article that was written by that Miss America who committed suicide. She wrote this essay, and she had some concerns about turning 30. So let's go on and see what the article continued to say. Say, after a year like 2020, you would think we learned that growing old is a treasure and maturity is a gift not everyone gets to enjoy, which I completely agree with her. Far too many of us allow ourselves to be measured by a standard that some sternly refuse to challenge and others simply acquiesce to, because fitting in and going with the flow is easier than going against the current. I fought this fight before, and it's a battle I'm currently fighting with 30. So you see, she's saying she fought the battle before she go against the status quo, but now she's fighting this battle again by turning 30. What it is about this age 30 that the enemy has planted in her mind, right? So she went on to say, how do I shake society's unwavering norms when I'm facing the relentless tick of time? It's the age-old question, what happens when immovable meets unstoppable? So the society, somewhere along the line, planted that 30 is this death sentence. 30, you don't matter no more. 30, you expire. That's enemy just keep working. Where that opening come from, I don't know. But she clearly expressed 30 was this age, guys. And so now, knowing this, getting the spiritual knowledge how the enemy operates, is this any surprise to you now that she committed suicide at age 30 or 31? I don't know if she had reached 31 yet. Is it any surprise, right? Because see, the enemy waits on this opening, and this is an invitation. I'm reading this, and all I'm seeing is an invitation for the enemy. Probably planted this seed way long ago, and because winning this pageant, and people make her feel more insecure about her age, you're old, and you're supposed to, fighting to lower the age limits for the pageant, make her feel a little more insecure about her age, because you're talking about society, right? But she get a lot of haters. If you go on and read this article, I'll encourage you to read it. She get a lot of haters on talking about her body, and is her body is a man body, because she had, she was a track athlete, and to make her feel insecure about herself, right? The internet trolls. But what I want to say here, you see, that's why we got to be grounded. That's why we got to be grounded in the scriptures, because we could lose ourselves to society image and what society is saying, and we can lose focus on the real truth, right? And the enemy just wants that so he can, the seed is being planted. He will water it. He will water the seed if you only allow it to be planted, right? But remember, guys, The scripture, John 15:18, he's saying, if the world hates you, remember that it hated me first. So Jesus saying, man, you're going to get haters out there in the world. But remember, I was the Son of God and all those miracles I worked, and they still hate me. So what about you? You know, you're going to have haters. You're going to have haters. So just remember, when they hate you, remember, they hate me first, man. They hate me first. If they can hate me, they can hate you. But you just got to remember and stay grounded in the word and stay knowing what is truth. And don't believe the lies what society fueled by the enemy is going to tell you. So let's look at some fun quotes about getting older. And then we can look at some scriptures where they talk about getting older, right? It said, getting older is like climbing a mountain. You get a little out of breath, but the view is much better, right? Getting older is like climbing a mountain. The view, you get a little out of breath, but the view is much better. But that's by Ingrid Bergman. Then the next one is the best tunes are played on the oldest fiddles. The best tunes are played on the oldest fiddles. Right? The next one is age is simply the number of years that the world has been enjoying you. Age is just simply the number of years the world has been enjoying you. That's from an unknown person. Then this one said, midlife crisis is the moment that you realize that your children and your clothes are about the same age, right? Midlife crisis is when you realize your children and your children and your clothes are about the same age. That's by Bill Thomas. And then the next one said, you are as old as you feel right after you try to demonstrate how young you feel. That's by an anonymous person. And I can associate with that one. You're old as you feel right after you try to demonstrate how young you feel, right? Because you know your mind a lot of times just play tricks on you. And because your mind don't get old, your body get old. Your mind do not get old. So you still think, especially those people who like athletes or who was involved in doing some kind of physical stuff where the body plays a part in it, your mind still tells you can still do it, right? And I had the experience. I used to tumble, do all the back flips and front flips. I used to be involved in that kind of stuff as a young man. The people who know me playing basketball, sometime after a game, I might run down and do 2 back flips and stuff like that. So, I'd met my wife and I think my son was younger and, I want to show them the things that I used to do when I was young. And, the mind said, man, you can still do this. And I just went off and I do a boom and I try to do a back flip, man. I tell you. My mind and my body coming to sync then, right? So that's what this one's saying. I didn't realize I would never do this again. Number one, I got about 30 pounds more than I used to be doing that, so my wrist, my whole body, when I land on the ground, I started to see stars and my body said, don't ever try this again, So you're as young as you feel right after you try to demonstrate how young you feel, right? So, and said everybody wants to live long, but nobody wants to be old. Everybody wants to live long, but nobody wants to be old, right? So there's just some fun quotes about getting older. So let's see what the Bible talk about getting older, because getting old is a gift, man, especially every day I wake up, you got to thank God for another day here, man. You got to thank God, because just in the last year, more among the people I know that passed out and was glad for another day, right? When this young lady was being concerned about turning 30, right? About turning 30, right? And someone planted in her mind and the enemy saying, turn 30 is a death sentence. 30 is a death sentence. And guess what? He convinced her that it's a death sentence and she should end it all at 30 because that's what he planted. 30 is a death sentence and that's why she ended up. We got to be careful, right? What we put in our mind, right? So let's see what Job 12:12 said. Job 12:12 said it's not wisdom found among the age. Does not long life bring understanding? So Job was asking these questions, So wisdom is found among the age. He's asking, does not long life brings understanding, right? Long life brings understanding. He was asking a question. Psalm 71:18 saying, even when I'm old and gray, do not forsake me, my God, till I declare your powers to the next generation, your mighty acts to all who are to come. So we got a responsibility as we get this wisdom and understanding as we get, older, to pass it on to the next generation, man. We got a lot of experience, man. You live on this earth 50, 60, 70 years years old, 40, 35. You got something to share based on your experience in life that you're going through, that you can share, even as mistakes that you make, that you can share with the younger generation, help them. Sometimes they may not listen right away, but you put it out there. You tell them they got something, like they said, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he's not depart from it. But he might remember. He might not take it right away, but we got a responsibility as getting older to share with the next generation our experiences, what we know, our mistakes that we made. Try to guide them, and so they don't make some of the same mistakes that we make, right? So we got that obligation to help the next generation, right? So 2 Corinthians 4:16-17, right? Here we said, this is why we never give up. Paul was talking about preaching the word and doing what you need to do, right? Doing what you need to do. He was writing to the Corinthians, telling them that. So he said, this is why we never give up. Though our bodies are dying, our spirits are being renewed every day. The spirit don't get old, right? The body get old. This is just this suit that we need to operate to be legal on earth. But the mind and the spirit, the real you, don't get old. Don't get old. Just this body get old. So he said, even the bodies are dying, or some other translation put it a little differently, but our spirits are being renewed every day. For our present troubles are small and won't last long. So our present troubles are small and won't last long. Yet they produce for us a glory that vastly outweighs them and will last forever, right? So our spirit, the real you, never gets old. Don't let the enemy tell you anything different. That spirit, that real you, don't get old. This body get old because God put us in time, and then it come a time in the body, can't go more, and the spirit gone back, but the spirit ain't old. The spirit just leave the suit and he gone. That's just your suit. That's to just make us legal here on earth. So let's see Isaiah 46:3, what it said. He said, listen to me, descendants of Jacob, all you who remain in Israel. I have cared for you since you were born. Yes, I carried you before you were born. I will be your God throughout your lifetime. Until your hair is white with age, I made you, and I will care for you. I will carry you along and save you. So God said, don't even matter when you get old. He was here from the beginning, and he can be here with us through the end, right? He was here with us from the beginning. He's going to be here with us through the end. So he don't leave you because you get old. So don't let the enemy make getting old be a bad thing. It's a good thing, man. Every day you blessed here, and a day on this earth is a good thing, man. It's a good thing. And you got to view it like that. And don't get scared of getting older. Getting older. It's one more day. I know a lot of people that gone by were glad for another day or 2 more days, like not a year, 2 more years. But they don't have it, right? They don't have it, right? Just like this young lady said in her article here. After a year like 2020, we should think that you should think that we learn that growing older is a treasure, and maturity is a gift not everyone gets to enjoy. Right, so I want everyone who growing older, who got that fear of growing older, and it's just the body, man, the mind, the spirit, the real you. Do not get old. Do not get old. Just this body. So don't let the enemy pump in you and get you scared about getting old and get depressed. Getting old is a gift. It's a treasure that not everyone gets to enjoy. Right, guys? So I just thought I shared a little thing on growing older, because it struck me that such a young person had this, where a great example how the enemy can cause such a beautiful gift to be like a curse, right? And she had this death sentence at 30. And unfortunately took her own life at 30 because she had so much concerns of being 30. Like society, you're done, you're washed up, you're old, So guys, so just be careful of the seeds that we plant in, because the enemy he don't need a whole lot of invitation to come in and water the seeds that we planted, right, guys? So I'm going to leave that there, guys. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk again on Monday. Okay, bye.